Most people think they understand luxury. They think it's about price. They think it's about brands. They think it's about showing success. But that's exactly why most people never understand it. Because luxury was never designed to be obvious. It was designed to be misunderstood by those who look too fast. Human perception is shaped by exposure. What you see the most becomes what you trust. Today, most people are exposed to loud versions of luxury. Big logos, bright colors, aggressive displays of wealth. So the brain makes a shortcut. It assumes luxury equals visibility. But visibility and value are not the same thing. Visibility is about attention. Luxury is about control. When something tries too hard to be seen, it's usually compensating. Real luxury doesn't compete. It doesn't need to convince. It assumes the right audience will recognize it without explanation. Noise feels safe. Noise gives instant feedback. When something is loud, the brain feels stimulated. It feels familiar. That's why exaggerated luxury is easier to understand. It gives you instructions. Look here. Admire this. Respect that. Quiet things don't do that. They leave space. And space is uncomfortable for an untrained mind. When there's nothing obvious to react to, the brain feels lost. So people label quiet luxury as boring, empty, or overrated. Not because it lacks value, but because it refuses to guide them. Luxury is not designed to be liked by everyone. If it were, it would have to simplify itself. And simplification destroys identity. True luxury accepts friction. It accepts misunderstanding. It accepts rejection. Because it's not trying to scale attention. It's trying to preserve coherence. That's why many luxury objects don't reveal themselves immediately. They don't deliver instant satisfaction. They reward familiarity. The more time you spend with them, the more they make sense. And that alone filters most people out. Time is the most misunderstood element of luxury. Most people evaluate things instantly. They scroll, they judge, they move on. Luxury doesn't function in moments. It functions across years, sometimes decades. That's why it avoids trends. That's why it avoids explanation. Anything that needs to be explained too quickly will feel outdated just as fast. Luxury trusts time to do the work, and time is patient. People aren't. Understanding luxury requires restraint, the ability to sit with something without demanding a reaction, the ability to observe without immediate judgment. Most people never develop that skill, not because they can't, but because they're never forced to. Everything today is optimized for speed and stimulation. Luxury is one of the few things that still refuses to adapt, and that's why it's misunderstood. Most people misunderstand luxury because they confuse attention with value. They look for excitement, where luxury looks for longevity. They look for validation, where luxury looks for time. And what refuses to impress them immediately will always feel invisible, until they learn how to see.